Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International are reporting that two prominent women's rights activists have been arrested in Saudi Arabia.
The arrest of Samar Badawi and Nassima al-Saddah signaled that the Saudi authorities see any peaceful dissent, whether past or present, as a threat to their autocratic rule. This unprecedented level of persecution of human rights defenders in Saudi Arabia is a disturbing sign that the crackdown is far from over.
Well, the arrested activists were protesting against laws which compel women to get permission from men to study, marry or travel abroad. Nassima al-Saddah is a long-time campaigner for women's and Shia minority rights. The other arrested activist is Samar Badawi, also a veteran activist for women's rights in Saudi Arabia. Incidentally, her brother Raif's a dissident activist. He's serving currently a 10-year jail term for insulting Islam online. Anyway, back to Samar. She received the 2012 International Women of Courage Award from then US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Samar, you are a human rights activist, a monitor of human rights in your country of Saudi Arabia.
Well, the Saudi government began its crackdown on women's rights activists just over 2 months ago. The official reason for the latest arrest isn't known, but previous detainees have been accused of having suspicious contacts with foreign entities, as it's been termed. Back then, Saudi officials had warned further arrests could be carried out as the investigation proceeded. Even so, Saudi Crown Prince Salman is eager to show a pretty different side, promising reforms and even most latterly lifting that ban on women driving vehicles. But all that said, staff at the UN Human Rights Commissioner's office right now have got grave concerns over this latest crackdown.
We are concerned about the continuing arrests and apparently arbitrary detentions of human rights defenders and activists in Saudi Arabia, including women's rights activists. Since the 15th of May, at least 15 government critics were detained. We understand that 8 of them were later temporarily released until the completion of their procedural review.
Political activist Madea Benjamin believes that Saudi Arabia is using its vast wealth to get its own way with the UN.
You can see old pictures of Samar al-Badawi with Michelle Obama, with Hillary Clinton, and she was celebrated in the State Department. Now that she's arrested, we don't hear anything from the State Department calling out the Saudi government for this terrible act of arresting her for absolutely nothing. So we have seen a crackdown in recent months on human rights activists, women activists, and this is another example of what a myth it is that the Crown Prince is a reformer because he is sending the message to the Saudi women, you will not get any changes by your grassroots activism. I am the only one that will decide. Every time the UN does something to speak out against abuses in Saudi Arabia then turns around and blackmails the United Nations, saying we will stop giving you money. Let's face it, it's a very wealthy country from all of the oil that it sells, and it uses its wealth to not only buy friends and buy silence from governments like the United States, but to buy silence at the United Nations.